Chat fuel. If you have a laptop, you can follow along. A laptop with a hotspot. But I don't think anybody really has a laptop. And that's no problem. I have a tutorial video I made. I'll share the link. It's really easy. I did a workshop with KOTESOL. You know KOTESOL? Korea Association for Multimedia Assisted Language Learning. It was it was about chatbots. They were using Dialogflow. And Dialogflow, it's pretty cool, but it's level 7. We want to start at level 1 today. Let's do level 1. So, no, thank you. Where am I? Okay, I'll just download you. And I'll download you. And I'll download you. Oh, thank you. I have no backup, really easily. Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. Developers of Facebook.com. That's neat. I like that. All right, and one more chat field. I don't have PowerPoint. I don't think, because I don't have time. Chatfuel.com. There's chat fuel, there's ManyChat, there's Active Chat, there's Pandora bots, there's Dialogflow, there's like 1,000 of them now. ManyChat has some chat fuel. That's all I think you want to know. Chat fuel. It's easy. It's free version, and there's a $15 a month version. We just want the free version. I don't want to pay.
Yeah.
I'm not paying anything. All right. And actually, yeah. So I'm just gonna create a blank bot. So you saw what I did. I went to chatfuel.com. I create a bot. It's called a blank bot. And you connect. You know what? I logged in under my paid account, and I actually don't want to do that. I don't want to have the paid account. I want to use my free account. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to go to my other account. I don't think you're supposed to do this, so please don't tell on me. I had to do this for testing. Because I wanted to show you guys how you can do it for free. Because the magic word is, I don't want to pay for anything. I don't want to pay for... Come on, buddy. Okay, thank you. And now... Good. Okay, no. Go away. Go. Okay, good. And okay. Fantastic. All right, this is the free one. I don't have a credit card, and this is good, because this is what you would have. And I don't want to show you what you'd have with the paid thing. So this is the free account, blank bot, start it. And now this is up here, automate. And this is where you would build. This is and what is this? This is not for teachers. This is for marketers. This is for people who make chatbots for websites, who make chatbots for real estate agents, who make chatbots for loan officers. So customers visit their website, save time, streamline sales, right? So that's the whole thing about chatbots. 6 months ago, I was applying for some research grant, and I needed idea, so I started some research chatbot in education, buzzword. It's it's pretty big, buzzword, and man, 6 months later, I think it's super easy. I'm angry at myself because it's so easy, and I did a lot of things difficult to find out how easy it is. But it's super easy, but then I say, well, that's because 6 months I've been working on it. It looks easy to me, maybe not so easy. The first time you see this, it's not so easy. Anyway, chatfuel.com, right? Blank bot, create bot, go to automate, and then that's where you just be like, oh, you know, hi, and it says first name. We can just delete all of this, like, hi. And this would be something you would send to your student, right? Like, hey, Minsu, what's going on? How was your weekend? Like Sunday night. Or Monday morning, before class starts. A warm-up. Not in class, right? Face-to-face. Put the phones down, right? Only 1 hour, 2 hours of face-to-face time, right? Maybe a little phone is okay, but ideally at home. On Kakao. I don't know how to get it to Kakao yet. It's more difficult. You know, you go where the money is. Money's with Facebook. That's why it's Messenger. That's why it's Messenger. And so most people have Messenger. So Sunday, ask students to do homework, maybe message with it in class, after class, I don't know. Whenever you deliver the bot to the students, hi Minsu, how was your weekend? Hey Minsu, what did you eat today? Hey GA, what are your plans this weekend? So you would be something like, this would be where you'd be introduction. Welcome, hi, nice to meet you. Hi, good to chat with you again. Chat with you again. Keep it simple, add buttons. So there's two types of bots. There's the, you know, the scary AI that's going to take over the world, right? And then there's the close-ended bot, where it's just buttons and intent. It has intention, like, I am going to help you buy a house. I am going to help you choose a car. I will ask you questions about your weekend. So it's a very close-ended, and it has buttons. And that's what this is. It's nothing, there's no super brain. No super brain. If the student asks me something about my dog, right? It's gonna be, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Try again. So what you do is you guide the conversation. You guide it using buttons. You guide it using flow, a dialogue flow. Get started. All right, boom. And get started. Second. Get started. And what I'm doing is I'm creating a block. And I'm using vocabulary that's for Chatfuel. Dialogue Flow has its own vocabulary. ManyChat, Active Chat. This is what makes it so hard for teachers, because each of these platforms have their own vocabulary. And so I'm going to use Chatfuel because, again, it's the easiest I have found. And I've researched about 6 platforms. And this one, for my money, is the easiest for teachers. All right. Block. It will send the student right here to the block, get started. And here I would be like, hello, like, you know, I'm not going to go into really complicated text. I just want to show you examples. Like, all right, let's get started. Stop. Calm down. Let's get started. Typing. This is where it's great that I think marketing led the way. money led the way and not teachers and education, because education doesn't have the money, I think, that marketing does. This is a $50 billion business, so there is so much psychology invested into hooking customers. So we can use that to hook students. So what they do is they have these, they call it typing function, where it looks like someone's typing. So the student looks and it's like, oh, someone's talking to me. Oh, this is Daniel. And it messes with their head. And so it's like, all right. It's like, they kind of know, but at first they didn't know. And I was in the room. I'm like, I'm right here. But then you have to get smart. Don't have 18 seconds. That's too long. Don't have, so you can work with that. Add text. Ooh, today was so hot. Whatever. It's crazy. Persuasive language. That's your job. That's your Shakespeare. What kind of language you use? Persuasive language. Now, all of this to me didn't mean anything. So the title I had, is it worth figuring out? Well, if I can't grade it, the student could be writing and writing and writing, but if I can't grade Minsu, compare him to Jie, did she write 1,000 words, he wrote 500, who gets the A? It doesn't mean anything. So it wasn't, last week, I figured this, I figured out how to send the data to Google Sheets. And that was a big deal for me. Because if I send it to Google Sheets, then I can download it and I can aggregate the students and I can grade it and I can say, great work. So there's something called user input. Don't even look at all that stuff, all right? I kind of want to say why I like this so much. Don't look at it now, but man, if you want professional development, if you want to leave EFL, you start doing this with very basic bots, and then you start learning how to do some of the more advanced stuff. It's really cool what you can learn to do. All right, user input. And this is a variable. How was your day? How was your day? And then we'll just call it mall day. Boop, boop, boop. And boom, that created a variable. All right, and good talking to you. Bye. And now I have to create, save to Google Sheets. Again, I have a tutorial video and I have a link that I'll show you where I have the steps and just YouTube it, Google it, how to use ChatFuel. Actually, that's not the best thing to do. That really screwed me up. Because you go to YouTube, there's some videos that do some things that are not as easy as this. So I have a video link I will show you. And it's, in my opinion, way easier. All right, connect to Google Sheets. Boom. And I'll connect it to, hey buddy, where are you? I don't even care. I'll connect it to this guy. All right. If you have 2 Google accounts, which I don't think you're supposed to, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna. Great. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it's me. And what number? 9. Okay. Hello. All right, so it just created a Google Sheet in my Google Sheets account, and it sent, oh, not yet, okay, that's what it did. Now, all right, one last thing I want to do. It says here, so we know automate is where we create welcome message for teachers. There's something called default answer, all right? Now, remember, ChatFuel is not for teachers, so let's delete that. Hey, you have to try again, have to try again. As a marketer, that's unethical. I can't tell a customer, hey, you have to try again. The customer doesn't want the product, the customer wants to leave, as a teacher, I can tell the student, hey, you have to try again. Press buttons, or only answer when I ask you a question. Okay, let's go. And just try again. Because what happens is students are like, hey Danny, how are you doing? And it kind of screws it up, and they're like, teacher, it's broken. And so this just kind of is a default answer, and then I'll just say, send it back to the beginning here. Boom. So get started. So the welcome message, and keep the welcome message generic, because with Facebook, you're allowed, for the free version, I know it's going to, for the free version, you can pay, you don't have to worry about having to contact Facebook. But for the free version, you have to contact Facebook and say, hey Facebook, can I have my bot on your Facebook? And they're like, yeah, no problem, for the free version. If you pay, you don't have to. All right, so anyway, you could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different types of bots. Weekend bot, like what did you eat? Or food topic bot. You know, different topics, different activities on the same console. So here we go. For this, I would have to contact Facebook 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I don't want to do that. I only want to bother one time. And I'll show you, it's really not that difficult to contact Facebook. So anyway, you keep that welcome very generic, all right? And you send them here, get started, and then if I wanted to, this would be like a different bot. And then this would be like bot topic 3. All right. So that's just to keep that check. Okay. Anyway, now this right here, and then set up AI. Hi. Hello. Get started. Go. Hello. You can set up some keywords. So if the user were to type in something, then you can tell them where to go specifically. This is kind of a big deal, and it's pretty easy with ChatFuel. All right, hold on 1 second. All right, that's all here. Now let's go ahead. I'm just going to test it, and I'm going to send some data to Google Sheets. So we connected it. We have the Google Sheet here, first name, last name, and that's the question. So this is all the data that Facebook will send me. And this is another ethical, there's so many ethical issues, I think, with marketing, but in education, and then when using Kakao and Facebook and social media, there's so many ethical issues. And I really didn't understand until really last week when all of this information that Facebook gives me. But then, of course, if you have Moodle or Schoology or anything, that's the same stuff that they take too. So we have to be very mindful about that. All right, so I'll just go ahead, gender, locale, messenger ID, just put all of it. Pictures, last place they visited, places they've gone. And so it's just a lot of information they sent. Okay, now I'll test it. No bad language, no bad language. Good. All right. How was your day? Good. Wait a second. Hold on. It's hard to tell. Got some things. All right. Who are you? Okay. And now I'm going to go to Sheets. And we're going to see if... Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. All right, wrong. No, that's the right person. All right, it created this account. All right, and it just sent that information. Now, of course, you can have more sophisticated bots. Well, not sophisticated, but more complex questions. So this is something that I did with my students. And so this would be a bot talking about the festival, very context specific about that day's events, and hi, glad we finally have this chance to talk. Add some pictures, very helpful. You want to add images, media, that's what makes it more interesting. You want to add jokes, add Korean. Look, they have Google Chrome. They might be reading it in Korean. So you don't even know what language they'll be using, as long as they're writing. The output is in English, that's wonderful. They're probably reading in, who knows. All right, influencer. This was I have a business class talking about influencers, social media influencers. This is an application, job application to be a social media influencer. Now, this is the recent one I have, where just tell me what your plans are this weekend. You really you can't break Chatfuel, it's free. You have to learn how to practice it. You have to spend a couple, if you wanted to do it, you'd have to spend a couple of days, or I'd say, about 10 hours, really practicing it, using it. Watch it. I have the tutorial, you'd want to watch that. Well, you wouldn't want to watch that really, but you'd want to practice using it. And it's not terribly difficult. Let's say. Now, you want to connect Chatfuel to Facebook. You don't want to pay money. Chatfuel doesn't want to tell you how, because they want your money. So what you need to do is go to developers.facebook. All right, and you automatically are a developer. Just go to the website, and boom, you work for Facebook. You go to create new app. Right here, add new app. And you name the app, my app. You have to do I am not a robot. And 2 more buttons and then you're done. My product's down here. And don't do this one, but this one, Facebook Messenger, set up. And look, I don't like Facebook. I wish I didn't have to use it. I like it, but I don't like it. I don't want my students to have to use it. But I don't know how to create independent phone apps, especially compatible with Apple phones. Android is a little bit more friendly, but Apple is very high criteria. So thank you, Messenger, for doing this. Okay, I created an app. There's something here called access token. And that's just a key that makes you connect with your bot. It's an access token. And you create a new page, or you might already have a page. We've all created pages. My app page for mall, education. All right, this just takes 2 seconds. And 5, 4. You create the page. I'm gonna skip this. Skip this. You have to add a button. And that's it. You have a page, but then you need a button. So contact you, send message, and boom, done. So we got our page. Now, we want to connect that page. Do that more. Yay. All right. And you got to give it permissions. So you have to say, please let this bot have permission to talk to that page. Hoorah. Done. All right, I'm done. That's it. So again, I got the video, and you could just go slow motion and stop and pause, because it is very strange the first time to see something like that. Okay. Now, so I would go here. I'm already connected. I've already connected this bot to a page. I don't want to connect a bot to a different page, so I'm going to stop there with that. But you would want to press here. You would go configure and just you press this button right here, and I don't want to do that. So now you have to ask Facebook for permission. So there's something called add a submission. Add a submission is just add an application to Facebook. So that means, again, if you want to pay $15 a month, you don't have to do this. So, all right, boom, boom, boom. Why do you want to use the chatbot? Give an explanation, and then a video. I'm not going to do that now, but I could show you the video that I used. There we go. I didn't even use audio. I did a slideshow, screenshot, and that's it. And this is what Facebook didn't even message me. They just cleared it. They're like, no problem. This is just part of government yellow tape that they have to do. So Facebook just tells the government, we are okay. We're looking after bots. They don't want naked people being thrown at their users. They don't want phishing. They don't want people phishing. So they just have to make sure you're not crazy, and that's it. Good. All right. Yeah. And so, I'm gonna put this folder delete. Good stuff. All right. Yeah. You don't even really need to. I kind of like that one. I want to just test one more kind of. Well, look. This is another one of my students in my digital literacy class. She has a. Where'd you go? Okay. She has a hanok, or she has a house, and she's kind of using it for professional reasons. If you have a gungbubang, or if you have a private business, it's a great way to do target advertising. So if you teach business English, it's a great way to do marketing lessons with students. I find my business English teachers hate market leader. I hate market leader. Even my ESL students, my English majors, I think being an English major will get you a promotion, but I don't think it gets you the job, and I think having some understanding about e-commerce and marketing, or at least how money circulates on the internet, I think that is some interesting stuff to talk about and learn about in classes. And so for me, learning about this and then having students practice using it's been a great digital literacy lesson for them. because I can show them, you know, hey, be careful. You see all of this data, that metadata that is so easily collected. You know, it's used against you. You know, it can be used against you. It is used against you for targeting and advertisement, and it's scary. So I think it's an interesting conversation topic, but teaching them how to build their own bots for the advanced classes has been actually really difficult. Probably, I'm a terrible teacher. But anyway, so she does it for her Hanok, you know, trying to, again, streamline businesses, streamline customers. And I've only had 1 week with my students. And to the question I put on my title, you know, I'm biased. I've invested so much personal time, I don't even care if my students like it. You know, like, oh, you're gonna like it if you like it or not. So I have to be very careful. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I do enjoy student-centered classrooms, but discussion forums on the LMS are getting boring for me. And this took me all of 5 minutes to make. Like, I came to work and I did this with only 10 minutes on purpose, because if it took me a lot of time, I know teachers will not do it. I would not do it. But once you learn the buttons that you need to press and how to download the images, you're able to put together the text and the flow very quickly. So it's a matter of teaching yourself the logic and teaching yourself how to do that persuasive language, and of course, teaching yourself how to use chat fuel. But again, I will upload that video. Well, I'll show you the link to that video. Anyway, yeah, you know, I wish I had more feedback. I've only got 1 week. I don't even know student perceptions. And when I do, I'm pretty sure half my students lie to me in perception surveys anyway. So, any questions though? I'm not going to bore you with some of the others. Yeah, I mean, I could do a whole semester of classes. I got 16 weeks of material easily, just with this stuff. But I definitely recommend checking it out. I kind of do, I'm sorry, I do want to check out Dialogflow, because that seems to be where all Koreans, awesome, that seems to be where all Korean conferences are putting their energy. They're all putting their energy on Dialogflow. And I think it's stupid. I think Dialogflow is way too complicated for teachers, unless you have a lot of free time and you have no social life. Then Dialogflow is okay. Okay, so this is the console for Dialogflow. We have something called intent. And intent is kind of cool because, you know, Chatfuel has an intent. There's a reason why you're sending it. And I like that with the voice, when you're talking on Kakao, you're using it for voice. You have a reason you're sending a voice message. I was like, why would I want to do voice? And my friend was messing with voices. Why are you sending voices? But then I'm like, well, if I'm sending a voice, I have an intention. There's a reason why. I will think about what I say instead of just rambling, like I do during my presentations. But intent, they call it intent. Oh, it's so time consuming. It takes me 1 hour to do, maybe 1 hour to fail at what Chatfuel I can do in like 1 minute, because I need to practice more. All right. So you have your welcome, and the thing is with Dialogflow, it can be that scary AI that takes over the world. You can kind of almost do that with Dialogflow. You have something called context. In context, you have add input context, add output context. That's kind of like what these are. Enter block, it tells you what block you're going to next. That's the output context, where you're going to go next. So there's analogy, they're analogous to each other, but they use different vocabulary and it's very stressful. Events. Oh boy, I don't even think yeah. Training phase, that's where you say, this is what the user puts in. Hi, how are you doing? What are you doing? This is what, if the user types in something, then, hi, tell me how you're doing, then you would respond, this is what would be sent out. I'm just gonna say one thing real quick, and I'm gonna end it here. Udemy, what's that lady's name? Was it you? Was it you? There's a really good Udemy course. Go to Torrent and download an Udemy course on chatbot. There's this freaking European lady, she's amazing. Send her $12 if you can. Actually, which is it? Where is it? I don't know. Udemy, man. Udemy is great for learning some of this stuff. I don't even want to go into Dialogflow. I feel very uncomfortable talking about it. I think just stay with Chatfuel. Stay with Chatfuel. Learn to connect it to Google Sheets. Be able to get your students writing. Send it to Google Sheets. Grade it. Maybe next year, have some way to automate, create reports, so that way it goes from Google Sheets to some sort of automatic feedback that gets sent back to the student, and you don't have to do anything. That's the big goal, I think, just to really streamline everything. That's the big goal. All right, any questions? I'm gonna put the link up. Where is that? My YouTube channel. You can subscribe to my only video. All right. Do I have? Not you. Come on. Go away. All right. All right. Where are you at? That's right. And 5, 4, 3, no. I don't know if I can do that. I think, okay. Where is it? I hate YouTube. How do I find my videos? I got one video library. There it is. Okay. All right. Over here. 1 second. Let me just tidy your
Hello, YouTubers. My name is Charlene. I am actually going to walk you through how to do a Google spreadsheet database via a free program.
Google spreadsheet database. That sounds fun.
I am super excited about this, so much so that this is my first ever online tutorial. The first thing you need to know, obviously,
And if I just
you're going
use
to want a
one of you
spreadsheet.
today,
You already have a
that'll
spreadsheet.
make the difference.
Either way, it works out.
Okay.
So we will go
Thank you, guys.
into Google Documents.
Go ahead and get out of here.
Let's choose our sheets.
I was able.
You can also, if you've never created a spreadsheet, come right up here to your search bar, Google Sheets,
Okay.
and it will bring you right to it. Go to Google Sheets.
Yeah,
So either way, it works.
I'm gonna sign you out, Natasha.
Yes, thank you.
No problem.
Okay. So we have our Google Sheets. We're going to
Get out of there. But yeah, this video, I kind of go through the steps, and you could parrot it, just copy it. If you wanted to build a bot, connect it to Facebook Messenger, and see what you can do with it. Again, why? You gotta ask yourself, why do it? You got 600, 200 students. You don't want to message them why, but Immersion, English, I don't know. We'll see. I got to do a couple of research papers to see if it has any kind of benefit. Let me see. Actually, I could probably do one more thing if you don't mind. Got 5 seconds. No, almost stop.
Thank you.
You use data flow? Dialogue flow, okay.
To facilitate my students' communication in English. But I think the core difference is that Champion only make the written language question, and data flow make Champion that students can practice their spoken language.
Now, I didn't want to go into JSON, JavaScript today, but you're able to do a lot more. You can do script writing, you can do more advanced stuff, but you have to have programming skill. And like, I'm talking developer level. And with Dialogflow, yes. Dialogflow has this analytics software, because Google has Google Analytics, and it tells you spoke at like an 86 today. Yesterday you spoke at a 74. Definitely. This is the rule, right? Like, the more complex it is, the more stuff you can do. Schoology, very simple. You can't do much with it. Moodle, very complex. You can do anything with it. So that's the rule. And Chatfuel is super easy. The easiest that you'll ever find right now on the market. And you can do some cool stuff. Dialogflow, you can do whatever you want with it. And speaking, I noticed you can do a lot with speaking. And I swear, at the KMALL workshop, 4 hours, Dialogflow, everybody, huh? It was like, and I had 4 months, man. I was like, whoa. I mean, but it was really Dialogflow. You create your own intent. You create your variables. You're really building the bot from scratch. You know, it's so difficult, especially in 30-minute workshop. But yeah, Dialogflow. I think step 1, Chatfuel. You get good at understanding the logic. Because there is logic well, what can you do? What can you do that's beneficial for the student? Once you understand that, then you have that logic, and then you go to Dialogflow. But even Dialogflow with the voice, because when you use Dialogflow, what's your display? What do you use? But what do you have your own school application? Do you do it off of where do they go? Do you have a special? Did you create like a Google app?
I use that
Did you use like WhatsApp or the Google system? Yeah. I still have a lot of homework. I have a lot of homework with Google. I really do, and I want to do it, but I couldn't get it done before. And I don't think even what I know I didn't want to talk about it today. I didn't want to talk about it today. I think you're in the best. I think you should, because if you're good with Dialogflow, you would be a Jedi master on Chatfuel. So you should check it out. I think it'd be really interesting if you check it out, especially but keep up with Dialogflow. Do not stop with that, because that's where the future would be, I think. And teach me. Teach me. That's good stuff. Anyway, hoorah. Okay, and you're welcome.